took a few moments to think, then presented an appropriate example out of a textbook. The whys and what's a parallel world.
1989年、君の世界ではベルリンの壁が崩壊したと思う。これをきっかけに東西ドイツが統一を果たした。これは正しいかな？
If I'm not mistaken, the Berlin Wall of your world was torn down in 1989, an event that sparkled the unification of East and West Germany. Is this correct? After a few moments of thinking, Sarami gave me a hesitant nod. She must have been summoned either from the world serving as the basis for history, at the very least, a parallel world very close to it.
とある平行世界では、東ドイツの政府スポークスマン、ギュンター・シャボウスキーが勘違いをしなかった。ただそれだけで世界は変わった。
In one alternate universe, the government spokesman for West Germany, Gunther Kabowski, did not make a mistake. Not alone was able to alter the course of history. What? Sarami blinked at me in surprise.
そもそも壁崩壊のきっかけは彼の勘違いだった。
The wall's destruction originally stemmed from a mistake he had made.
ベルリンの壁を除く出国の規制を緩和する政令だったのが、会議に出席せず、内容もよくわからないままだったため、ベルリンの壁を含む政令と彼は認識してしまった。
The government wanted to impose laxer travel regulations for those wanting to immigrate, except for the Berlin Wall. However, since Skabowski was absent from the meeting, he mistakenly believed that the new regulations would also include the wall. Sarami stared at me mouth agape.
だからマスコミに発表したとき、彼はベルリンの壁を越えられる許可を出しても同然だった。その上、この政令は直ちに執行されると発表したものだから大騒ぎだ。
During a press conference, he consequently announced that the wall could freely be crossed, and that this new regulation would be effective immediately, causing nationwide uproar.
その混乱のために、市民がベルリンの壁に殺到し、わけもわからず壁を守っていた警備兵を相手に、暴動寸前まで発展した。結果、壁は解放され、破壊された。
In the chaos that followed, citizens flooded to the wall in droves, much to the surprise of the station border guards. Soon enough, the situation escalated to a near breaking point. The wall was opened and eventually torn down.
はあ、そんなきっかけだったのあれ。
Wow, I can't believe something like that was the cause.
君のいた世界でも歴史書を調べればそうなっていると思う。ところが、その平行世界では、シャボウスキーは政令の内容をよく熟知していて、正しい内容を発表してしまった。
I would assume the history books of your world contain the same information. In any event, in this particular parallel world, Skabowski possessed full knowledge of the regulations' particulars, and announced them correctly during the press conference. As a result, the wall never crumbled, and Germany was never unified. The need for democratization was high, but in that world, the overlapping of various conditions led to an expansion of the Western Bloc's influence.
結果、ソ連とアメリカの間で戦争が勃発。社会主義国家と資本主義国家を巻き込み、第三次世界大戦が起きてしまった。
This led to war between the Soviet Union and the United States, and the resulting clash of socialism and capitalism culminated in the outbreak of World War III.
そのシャボンだかシャポだかの人がたまたま勘違いしなかっただけで世界が変わった？
So, just because that's Kabow's what's his face didn't make a mistake, the entire world changed?
少なくとも第三次世界大戦が起きる確率は低くなった。ともあれ、これほどダイナミズムに世界が変わった場合、完全に元の世界と異なる存在として認識される。
At the very least, his actions lowered the probability of a new world war breaking out. In any case, the sheer volume of this chain reactory series of changes caused the world to become a completely separate parallel universe. And so we end up with two worlds, one that suffered devastating damage through World War III, and another where the war was avoided and capitalism prevailed. However, this also resulted in the appearance of a new type of threat: terrorism. Those two worlds had been completely separate entities. Many such divergent points exist in history. For example, the failed terrorist assassination attempt on the Pope. Had he shot earlier or chosen a different firing angle, he would have succeeded. There was another event fated to bring about change in the world.
誰かがほんの少し何かをかけ違う。それを数千年繰り返し、さまざまな平行世界が生み出された。
Minuscule changes over thousands of years gave birth to countless different parallel worlds.
具体的にはどうなの？
Can you give a few specific examples?
霊の存在が確定した世界、超能力者がありふれた世界、核戦争で滅びかけた世界、滅んでしまって動物たちが世界の覇権を手に入れた世界。
Worlds where ghosts were proven to exist. Others where people with supernatural powers fully walked the earth. Some were destroyed by nuclear weaponry. Others ended up ruled by animals. I turned to look at Lilith.
リリスやラジエルはその無数にある平行世界の管理者、いや違うか、ウォッチャーズだ。
Lilith and Raziel exist as supervisors, or rather, as mere observers to that enormous number of parallel worlds. Lilith nodded, skillfully continuing the conversation. She was far more knowledgeable on the issue compared to me. The two of us exchanged looks. It was hurt her now.
あなたたち人間は本当に面白いわ。いや、冗談じゃなく、私たちに極めて近い力を生み出すに至った世界も存在する。
You humans are truly an interesting lot. I'm being serious here. In certain worlds, you managed to give birth to powers rivaling our own.
それは例えば刹那とか？
Like Tetsuna's, for example? Lilith fell silent upon hearing the words. I too stared at Sarami in silence. Sarami fidgeted awkwardly, seemingly conscious of my gaze.
ごめん、なんか聞いちゃまずいことだった？
Sorry, is it a touchy issue? Not particularly. Actually, it may have been.
刹那はちょっと違うのよね。まあいろいろあったってことでご満足してちょうだい。そのうち彼の物語を聞かせることだってあるでしょ。
Tetsuna's a bit different, you see? Let's just say he went through a lot and leave it at that, alright? I'm sure he'll share his life story with you eventually. It wasn't exactly an everyday life story, though.
ね、じゃあリリスはやっぱり悪魔ってこと？で、ラジエルが天使？
So, are you like really a demon, Lilith? And Raziel's an angel?
その通り。
Precisely. Raziel abruptly stepped behind Sarami, gently whispering into her ear. Much to the latter's surprise and horror, Lilith observed from a distance, laughing up at Storm.
私たち天使は本来作り出された平行世界の管理が目的。悪魔は平行世界が生み出した人間たちの管理が目的となる。
We angels are tasked with the supervision of all the newly created parallel worlds, while the demons handle all the people born to said worlds.
そうしてまあ数千年が経ったわけよ。平穏無事にね。
And we've been doing that for a couple thousand years now, without any incident.
ところがある日突然全てが狂い出した。
Until one fateful day, when everything changed for the worse.
狂う？
What do you mean?
まず主だった平行世界に次々と崩壊の兆しが見られ始めた。それは人間の選択のためではなく、自然の抗いですらなく、ただただ無造作に世界を握りつぶすような破滅だった。
First off, all the prominent parallel worlds began showing signs of collapse. This wasn't due to human choices or nature's wrath. Worlds were simply falling to ruin one by one. Worlds collapsed in rapid succession, not through strife sown by mankind, nor catastrophes unleashed by nature itself, they were simply being devastated and doomed to vanish. Life and all of creating came to an end on these worlds.
さらに追い打ちをかけるように、まず天使が天国にアクセスできなくなった。天使は追い出され、天国へとつながる門を完全に閉じられた。
To add insult to injury, the angels found themselves locked out of heaven, with the gates firmly shut.
神に最も近いと言われていた四大天使のうち、ミカエルを除く3人も大混乱の中で消息を絶った。
With the exception of Michael, 3 of the 4 master angels, said to be the closest to God's holy divinity, ended up perishing in the midst of the ensuing chaos.
四大天使？ミカエルに、ラファエルに、ガブリエルに、あと誰だっけ？
Yeah, so the archangels. The 4 master angels? Let's see. Where's Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and who was the 4th again? The 4th was Lucifer. Watch a lot of Supernatural.
Uriel.
Uriel. Well, guess it's not Lucifer in this one. Oh. Uriel. Well, Uriel was in Supernatural too. Most of those angels are dead. So Rami's eyes lit up with recognition.
相変わらずあいつは忘れ去られるわね。ああでね、地獄は地獄で大問題。地獄の最下層、コキュートスで氷漬けになっていた悪魔の王ルシファーが姿を消した。
Man, poor guy's always getting left out. Anyway, hell wasn't faring any better either. The frozen Lucifer, who used to inhabit its deepest lair, Cosidus, vanished without a trace.
行方不明？
You mean he was just gone?
行方不明ね。地獄は上を下への大騒ぎ。勢力バランスが崩れたのをきっかけに、内輪で戦争すら始まるところだったわ。ところが、すぐに地獄へ大量の水がなだれ込んできた。
Yep, gone. All of hell was in a state of turmoil. The resulting tip in the power balance nearly sparked a war on the deeper layers. And that's when the whole place flooded over.
水？
Flooded over?
あの水はおそらくかつて人類を滅ぼしかけた巨大な雨雲よ。我々はこれらの災害を全部まとめて震災と呼称した。
Yeah, I'd say it was probably the very same rain cloud that flooded the earth in ages past, nearly causing the extinction of mankind. So in the end, we came to refer to this entire situation as a divine calamity. With heaven isolated from the world and hell submerged in water, there was only one thing left to do. I know that this is probably Lilith. Oh well. One thing left to do.
ことここに至って天使も悪魔もひとまず協力体制を敷くことにしたわ。まずは常在の場という役割を放棄していた煉獄をミカエルが回収した。
To overcome the crisis, the angels and demons decided to cooperate. First off, Michael restored Purgatory, the place once used to purge one of sins.
ただまあ、煉獄を新たな世界として作り上げたわけだから、その代償も大きかったのでしょうね。ミカエルは間もなくして亡くなった。
You see, he used Purgatory to forge a brand new world. And that sort of thing doesn't exactly come cheap. Ultimately, Michael died soon after this. And so Purgatory was born anew as Tokyo Babel, a world without heaven, hell, or even earth. You might as well think of it as our very own Noah's Ark.
そんな時、ある天使が神からのメッセージを告げた。それはくしくもミカエルが亡くなる間際に伝えた真実と同じだった。
As all of this was happening, God relayed a message to us through a certain angel. The same words Michael delivered to us shortly before his death.
人の子よ、巡礼せよ。巡礼すれば汝の願いは叶うであろう。
Hear me, O seed of man, and embark upon a pilgrimage. Do as I have commanded, and your wishes shall be fulfilled. Humans were the key to opening the gates of heaven. Angels could not do it. The same applied to demons as well. Naturally.
巡礼。人間たちに東京バベルを巡礼してもらい、7つの大罪をあがなうという過程を経ることで、天国の扉を見つけて開く。
Mortals must therefore embark upon a pilgrimage across the layers of Tokyo Babel, repenting for the 7 deadly sins. In the end, they would find the gates of heaven and open them.
巡礼を提唱したのは神の来帝と呼称される天使メッセンジャー。彼女たちの言葉が本当に正しいのかどうか、それを知る術はないけど。
The proposal came from Messenger, an angel commonly known as the Thunder of God. We had no way of knowing whether or not she spoke the truth, but
もうそれを信じるしかなかったってわけよ、私たちは。
But we had no choice but to believe her. I mean, what else was there to do? The humans would become pilgrims of Tokyo Babel, find the gates leading to heaven, and open it to restore the divine realm, then beg God for his pardon.
そうして天使と悪魔は共同で滅亡していない平行世界から力ある者たちを救い上げた。
As a result, angels and demons alike journeyed across countless parallel worlds, all on the brink of ruin, in order to find and enlist the help of powerful mortals.
英雄、怪人、超人、勇者、あらゆる世界のあらゆる優秀な存在よね。私たちは彼らを学生に仕立て上げ、パンドラに転校させた。その数ざっと。
Heroes and freaks, monsters and men alike. In short, every outstanding being from every possible world. We brought them here to Pandora, and we made them to be our so-called students. There's about
1億人。
100 million of them. That's really a lot.
1億人の学生？スケールでかっ！
100 million students? That's insane!
第1階層から第7階層、7度の巡礼を経て天国の門が開かれるはずだった。
If we journey across all layers, from the first to the 7th, the gates of hell will open. Or so we've been told.
だけど門を開くことはできなかった。
But you could not open the gate.
というより、誰も門まで到達できていない。現状、第4階層が最高記録。
It was more of an issue of no one ever having reached the top. At present, the farthest we've explored is the 4th stratum.
いろいろと問題はあったんだけど、まず一つ目、パンドラに集う1億人の学生が全員巡礼に迎えるわけじゃない。いや、むしろ絶望的な現実から逃避する連中の方が多かったのよ。
We've had tons of problems to face. But let's start with the first one. Not all of the students staying here at Pandora embark on their pilgrimages. In fact, I'd say the folk who merely wanted to escape from the harshness of reality were in the majority. The summoned students continued on their daily lives with a certain suspicion and unease nestled in the back of their minds. And when that suspicion ripened and blossomed into a solid conviction that there was something definitely not right with this world, the affected students could finally establish contact with the angels and demons. But the total amount of people on pilgrimage or planning to set out ultimately came to a mere 10,000. That's still a lot though.
2つ目、巡礼に向かった者たちのほとんどが東京バベルのいずこかで消失した、もしくは殺された。
And the second issue, most of the students who left on a pilgrimage disappeared somewhere in Tokyo Babel, or they were killed.
消失と殺害は違うのか？
There's a difference between murder and disappearance?
消失ならば天国に向かった可能性がある。望み薄だけどね。殺害は簡単明瞭。実行犯が存在するのよ。
Well, if they merely vanish, there's still the possibility that they're headed for heaven. A faint hope, but still, in the case of murder, it becomes evidently clear that we have a perpetrator on our hands. A perpetrator. In other words, a sinner. After all, they eliminated all those who set out to have an audience with God one by one.
支配者と私たちは彼らのことを呼んでいる。
We've come to label them as masters.
何かが原因で頭のネジが緩んだか調律が狂ったかでボンとなってしまった連中よ。東京バベルを支配し王を気取る連中ね。女王かも。
I don't know how or why, but they kind of lost a screw somewhere along the way and went all loony on us. And now they lord over Tokyo Babel, as its self-proclaimed kings are queens. And that one was probably the one that died. The masters were men and women whose minds had succumbed to madness during their respective pilgrimages. Oh, so the people that are about to help us are the ones destroying us. Okay. Angels, demons, and humans alike were among their numbers. It mattered little if the affected person was a selfish martyr, a God-fearing angel, or a demon absorbed in lust. All of them, without exception, had broken beyond repair. Their minds warped, enveloped by pure bloodlust. The defense system gone rogue, spiraling viciously out of control. The resulting chaos had thrown a colossal wrench in the angels' and demons' plans, finding the gates of heaven through pilgrimage. The only option was to completely eradicate the masters. I too was apparently summoned here for that purpose.
例えばゲテル。彼女も壊れた存在だったわね。
Like Athal, her mind too had broken.
私は彼女に召喚されたんだよね。
And was she the one who brought me here?
多分ね。ゲテルはあなたをどこかの平行世界から召喚した。あなたをもてあそび殺すためにね。妹としての記憶をすり込んだのもあなたがより衝撃を受けるためだと思うわ。
Athal most likely summoned you from this or that parallel world, because in her sadistic ways, she just wanted a plaything to torture. She did an awfully good job of it, unfortunately. A worried smile left Sarami's lips, prompting me to speak up.
大丈夫
It was Setsuna this whole time. Wow. I'll never know. Oh well. Are you okay?
あんまり大丈夫じゃないっぽい。やっぱ妹の話題はしばらく後を引く。
No. I don't really feel okay. I think because I'm so affected by what happened with her. Love suggested we change the subject.
このパンドラにも支配者になってしまった連中が攻め込んだことがあったのよ。
Some of the people who became masters have actually invaded Pandora in the past.
誰が支配者になっていたんだ
Who became masters?
聞くとドン引くわよ。
Jazz gonna hit the floor when you hear it. Love shot a glance in Rezio's direction.
非凡な超能力者であったサンジェルマン伯爵、天使の軍団長であったサンダルフォン、至高にして暴食、ハエの王ベルゼバブ、
The Count of Saint Germain, a man of extraordinary skill and prowess. Then there was the Archangel Sandalphon, who used to be a renowned commander of the angels. And finally, the Lord of the Flies himself, the terrible and unmatched Beelzebub. Or Beelzebub. Beelzebub. Oh well. An angel, a demon, and a mortal man, each unparalleled in their own right. They too succumbed to madness during their pilgrimages, till we lost them. We thought that having them on our side would make the journey towards heaven a cakewalk.
もう3年前の出来事だったかしら。激戦で何百何千という人間、天使、悪魔が死んだわ。
It's been 3 whole years since then. Countless humans, angels, and demons met their end in the ensuing bloodshed.
たった3人、たった3人で全ての天使と悪魔と人間を撃ち滅ぼそうとしていた。
With only the three,
おどけながら
with only the 3 of them, they plotted to destroy all angels, all humans, angels, and demons. They found out much joy in the carnage, mocking all those who stood up to them. Raziel began visibly trembling, no doubt having remembered the horrors of that day.
まあなんとか撃退したけどね。犠牲は大きかったわ。ともあれ、そんな状況だから人間を巡礼に向かわせることもなかなかできなくなっていたの。
Well, we did manage to beat back somehow, but our victory came at the cost of many lives. We had virtually lost the ability to send more humans on pilgrimages.
それを打開するために私が呼んだのがそこの天道刹那。
And to help us through these dark times, I ended up summoning a certain young man. You guessed it, our very own Tendo Setsuna, right there.
そうなの？
Huh? Really?
実はまだよく分かってないんだが、どうやらそうらしい。
I'm not exactly clear on the details either, but yes, Lilith is correct.
実は刹那を召喚したのってついさっきだったからね。まあでも私は私であの力に驚いたわ。ゲテルは完全に使いこなせてなかったとはいえ。
Truth is, I've only recently summoned him here. But damn, his powers surprised even me. Gathel may not have been able to utilize the sword's potential to its fullest, but still. To think he would be able to beat the Picati sword barehanded. Lilith's voice sank into a whisper as she finished the sentence. Her surprise was not entirely unwarranted. Even I was astonished by how Hymenaeus exhibits its power, despite having never mastered the art of magical perception.
語りうるべき現状はそんなところかしら。あと一つ忘れてた。
And I'd say that about sums it up. Oh wait, I forgot one thing. Lilith leaned closer to Sarami's face. The latter winced, her cheeks flushing bright red. Raziel reacted quickly, holding Sarami down. The knack for teamwork was a sight to behold.
サラミ、重要な話があるわ。あなたは幸か不幸か天使ゲテルの力を得てしまった。
Sarami, this is important. Whether you like it or not, you ended up inheriting Gathel's power. Lilith gazed deep into Sarami's eyes.
ちょっと近い。
Yeah, you're like really close. This time, Raziel ended up whispering into her ear.
ゲテルの瞳は隠されたものを暴き立てる力がある。それがあれば隠された天国の門への道筋を見つけ出せるかもしれない。
Gathel's eyes hold the power to reveal all that was once hidden. It could prove essential in helping us reach the gates of heaven. Probably. An angel and a demon whispering in her ear. Couldn't help but find the situation odd, to say the least. Sarami glanced in my direction, okay, silently screaming for help. I decided not to respond.
そんなわけで、あなたはにわかに重要人物扱いなのよ。体は大事にしてちょうだいね。
And I think I'll save a new page and stop here for now and probably go finally eat. Anyways guys, I'm Celestial Shadows and this was Tokyo Babel. Good visual novel. I have no idea how long this visual novel will be, but probably over 15 hours at least. And that's just me guessing. Oh well. Anyways guys, I'm Celestial Shadows and thank you for watching once again, but bye for now. Until next time.